Hey everybody, it's me, John Ward, and I am back with another Dark Part Film Reviews. And of course, I am here with the legendary, the notorious OGP. OGP, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for that proper introduction.
You are welcome.
John, I am enjoying the fact that you have backgrounds. I'm enjoying the fact that you have your logo up here.
Thank you.
What I am noticing is that you've not authorized us to have the secondary name, our headline below our names. You have to turn that feature on. Maybe for the next video, we'll get that sorted out. Where everybody could know I am the notorious OGP, aka Nog Ross, the king of wishful thinking.
I saw that you could do that, but I didn't turn it on because it wasn't something that, like, I would need to remove mine. So,
no,
but I can.
You shouldn't. But there's always next time.
Yeah.
Because we're here to talk, and not to get you copyright flagged, but yo ho, a pirate's life for me.
That could be a public domain.
Yeah. Man, so this is our third. It took a while to get from the first to the second, but here we've gone from second to third pretty quickly. And at World's End, this film right here may have had me at wit's end. Did it or did it not? I don't know. I'll let you know as we go here.
You had yes, and this is the end of the trilogy. So this is this is a crap, because I don't have his name up. I'm having a hard time pronouncing it. Gore
Verbinski.
Thank you. Struggle with that. This is his trilogy. He chose not to come back for 4 and 5. From what I understand, it shows. And you had messaged me and said, this might be my favorite one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I listened to that and I watched it. I might have to agree with you.
Okay. If you recall, in that message I sent you, I said I was about an hour and 15 minutes in, I think, somewhere around there. This is like almost, it's long enough to be 2 movies at
they could
2 hours and 49
1
minutes.
And part 2 with this, yeah.
But this was really like 2 different movies. You had let's bring Jack Sparrow back to life, and then you had let's go get Will Turner's dad back. You had like 2 movies combined. Let's bring Jack Sparrow back to life. I loved that part of the movie. I thought it was phenomenal. But we'll get in. We got a lot to talk about here. But yes. Once we were doing a sword fight as we're going down the ocean's toilet bowl swirly whirl. Once we decided to get married while that was happening, I went like, are you effing kidding me? Is this just went off the rails completely? And I was like, this is the dumbest scene I've ever seen in my life. A sword fight and getting married at the same time. Come on. That, and then while that was happening, there was I believe they referred to it as an armada, a massive collection of the battleships that were coming to fight the pirates. And we got over 30 minutes of the 2 ships going in this swirly whirly thing with this massive sword fight and a wedding and all these things. Where did all the other ships go for that?
They just sat there because nobody told them to go.
That was dumb. That was colossally dumb. They should have come to help fight the fight. And the fact that we forgot about it, and then we celebrated victory when that was done, but the armada still remained. And then,
well, because they're British.
Okay, but then after that, we had the 2 pirate ships, and then that one, the British ship comes through with all those cannons on the side, and it just strolls through and lets the pirates obliterate it. And everybody's celebrating. Yay, yay, we win. Well, no, what about the other 200 ships that are over there still? What about them? Oh, that's right. They did the same thing that the British ship that sailed between the two pirate ships did. Absolutely nothing. It just let the pirates obliterate it. The captain was standing there and they're like waiting for the order. And the captain just said, oh, for the sake of the business, for the good of the business, whatever the quote is. And he let them get blown to bits.
That I did. It's funny how we just jumped right to almost the end.
No, and but sometimes you gotta start it off with a bang, and that's where we did.
Yeah, I rewound it thinking maybe I missed something, and I didn't. Is you have the you have Davy Jones, and then you have the Flying Dutchman, and they do the fight with the Pearl. And they're circling, the drain of the ocean, and they get connected, and they're blowing each other up, and they're swinging, and they're fighting, and they're doing all this, and then the Dutchman goes down, and then the Pearl sails, and then you see the British ship, the Excelsior. Yeah, I think that's the name of it, the Excelsior,
the one that went through the two. Yeah, you know, I
remember
it showed the name.
I think it's Excelsior because I went, oh, that's the name in Star Trek of Sulu's ship. I think I'm right.
The Endeavor. It's the Endeavor.
Endeavor, thank you.
Just like one of the space shuttles. I remember the space shuttle Endeavor.
Oh, okay. So then they go out thinking, well, the Pearl is all damaged, so we could just take it down. But I think because they're British, they're not all going to do it all at once, which is kind of how they lost. One of the reasons why they lost the Revolutionary War is they would, all sit in front of each other. And then, they have the guys on top.
And they would just march right down the middle of the road because that's gentlemanly warfare.
Right. While Americans were in the trees and ditches and behind rocks and stuff.
Yeah.
And so
thank God they did.
Yes. But I didn't. So I got, okay, fine. That's why they're not all attacking. We're going one at a time, which is your favorite thing with martial arts, when only one person fights the guy.
I felt the same way about these ships. I was like, come on, just.
But then I didn't. That's the only thing I could think of is that the commander of that ship, the captain, when he goes, like it's for the good of the business, is
he had to give the order. He had to give the order to fire. Why did he not give the order to fire? There's no rhyme or reason as to why he didn't give the order to fire.
I can't think of anything.
No, there's not. And here's another thing that really irked me about this. In the first movie, Elizabeth is in love with Will. In the second movie, she's in love with Will, and Will sees her kiss Jack Sparrow, so Will's all sad. In this movie, she's a flat out hoe. She wants to kiss the one British guy who shows up. She's doing her thing with Will. She's still like, when at the end, when Jack Sparrow goes to leave, she tries to kiss him, and Jack's like, nope, once is enough. It's like, how many dudes are you going to try and be with? And then we find out at the very, very, very end that you got knocked up. And so we're guessing now that was by Will, because they're looking at Will come back. And this is the post-credit scene. But it's like, how many? And she goes back and forth from guy to guy to guy. So I'm like, you know what? She is a good, I don't know if this word is allowed. I don't know if it's one of those YouTube words that's not allowed, but we'll find out. She's a good wench that should have been up there for auction. Like you mentioned, we should have talked about first the 10-minute prequel.
Oh, no. We are doing good. So it was discovered that there is a 10-minute short. I don't think there's anything more. We talked about it. We didn't talk. No, we were supposed to
talk about watching it, but we didn't.
I don't think we talked about it on the first video. We did bring it up on the second video saying, oh no, we didn't watch it. So it's like, okay, we're going to watch it for this movie. And so we did. And it's 10 minutes. it is a prequel to the original movie.
Yeah.
So you can watch this and then go straight into the first film. And so it is Pirates of the Caribbean, Tales of the Code, Wedlocked.
Yes. And I love, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I
get all excited sometimes and I blurt.
And I really enjoyed this as a 10-minute short. It didn't outstay its welcome. It was fun. I liked how it's connected to the first movie. We even get a little cameo in it. And well, I mean, two, but one is more like a real cameo. And I enjoyed this film. So I thought it was fun. So if somebody said, let's have a marathon of all these, you know, like we're just hanging out. They're like, hey, let's watch some pirates. I would say we need to watch this first.
You start with that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and so what I love two things about it. One, the fact that it is a recreation of the original Pirates of the Caribbean ride, where when you're going along in the ride and you see the girls up for sale, they're selling the wenches. They're at the auction. That's very funny. And the fact that it starts out with these two girls who both think they're going to get married to Jack Sparrow, and they find out he's auctioned them off, and they're so mad and they want to kill him and stuff. And their relationship between each other is very funny, because at first they're like buddy. Yes. Then they hate each other. And then they're like, oh, we were auctioned to a rich guy. We're set for life. And then the handcuffs are put on him. And he's like, no, I'm set. You're basically my slaves now. So sorry. And then so the whole evolution of just a roller coaster of emotions that they went through was very funny. But recreating that scene from the ride, I really enjoyed that. And then at the end of it, when we get Jack Sparrow, and I think when we saw Johnny Depp, because Johnny Depp did not take part in this, it was, you know, stock real footage from somewhere else in the film of him out there, and they just like put his image on.
Oh yeah, it's the very beginning of the first Pirates movies. That's where he's sailing and his ship is sinking.
Yeah. So and then there's another shot where it's farther away, and I'm sure that was a stunt double, you know, where you see Jack Sparrow, but you can't really see his face.
It's connected to this.
Yes. And that I loved. I thought that was brilliant how she goes, I took these, and she has the 4 nails out of the ship to make his little boat sink. So as he took off to chase the Black Pearl, now he has to come back, because, you know, his ship is sinking. And so I thought it's funny that his ship was sinking. And at the beginning of the movie, of the first movie, I didn't question it. I just thought that was funny. But, you know, if you think about it, why was his ship sinking? Well, now we know. And I appreciate that, because John, if something is happening, if we're an audience, we deserve to know why. I always say that we need to know why.
In this case, I would agree with you. I think that the connection is funny, because I assumed from the very first film that it's just a piece of junk. You know, it's just a crappy boat that has holes
that's what
in
I
it.
figured.
Yeah. And I like the idea that, because I remember when the first Pirates came out, everybody, well, not everybody, but, you know, people were saying, like, is Captain Jack Sparrow gay? Because he's doing the whole things with his, you know, hello there, you know, he's doing this whole thing. And people say, well, is he gay? The more you watch these movies, the more women he has slept with and screwed over, and they all want to slap him or kill him or whatever it is, or drown him. And so, no, he's just a flamboyant guy who women seem to really like. And no, he is very much a heterosexual guy.
Well, and until you mentioned it, and again, I'd never seen the movies until now, but I had never heard, oh, you know, Jack Sparrow's supposed to be gay or anything. I'd never heard anything like that. But again, I hadn't seen the movies. But speaking of him and his flamboyant and his characteristics, his body language, that type of stuff, I do love the fact that we got Keith Richards in this.
We will talk
movie.
about that. Hold on. We will
I
discuss
loved
it.
that.
There, yes. And when we get done talking about Keith Richards, I did not know this until today when I was collecting all these pictures. There is another famous rock singer in this movie.
Huh.
Don't look it up.
Okay, I won't.
Don't do anything because I got pictures.
Okay.
So
yeah. When you show me the picture, I'll see if I can figure out who it is.
Oh, you'll know instantly. But it's so they.
Oh, is not a picture from the film?
Yes and no. Yes and no. Yeah, yeah. You'll know. So we also have like people like this. This is very much a pirates movie. This isn't something that's cheap. So it was obviously shot during at World's End because they go to Shipwreck Cove and you got all the ships piled. And so I'm guessing this was shot during the, on like a Sunday or something, on like a Saturday and a Sunday. And they shot this and they just made it as a prequel to the first movie.
Yeah.
Because this is a lot of work. These guys, he's the auctioneer. And then you have this guy. So he's one of the people that's doing the bidding.
I love if you were to ride the Disneyland ride and now some of these characters are gone or changed or whatever, but they look just like the characters in the ride. They really, really do. So
these
really
are like, he could just have a white face and it's not. He's got blood and dirt and he's got a bunch of stuff on him. And then there's of course a fight that breaks out. And I like this shot because here you have all the people fighting. And what I thought was really funny about this is there is no way this would be shot today. You are not going to have two women for sale with men, trying to buy them. And
it's just like Disneyland changing the ride. They don't do it anymore.
Well, and bestiality is even brought up in this because the guy has a goat. And
he's like, you love your goat.
And he goes, this is like Bob Smith's goat. And he loved his goat. And another pirate goes, yeah, he really loves that goat. And it's like, oh crap, there's bestiality in this too.
Yeah, that is.
This is stuff that would never be brought up these days. And we do get our cameo. This is not a picture from this, but I just liked it way too much. So, but we do get the Parrot Man. So he is in this. So we get our connection. So this is legit. I would think it's canon. And, and I think I love this. I don't know if there are any more shorts, but I would just be happy with this one. And I love that, of course, that it ends it with this connection. Yeah. So I think that's pretty awesome. So
yeah, I am glad that you discovered this and that we talked about it and that we got to watch it, because if we're going through the entire franchise, we should have that included.
Oh, I absolutely agree. So it's something that's just going to be, I think, just really. I wonder if it's on one of the Blu-rays. I know it's made for Apple.
Yeah,
it's because this is a short prequel to the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Two feisty brides to be discover that they have something in common: the absent groom. Still, there are plenty of pirates who would love to trade their goats for them. And it's written by the people who write Pirates. It's all done by them. So it's not some Joe Blow writer.
Oh yeah, no, it says Disney at the end and the post credits. So I'm looking at my Blu-ray. I see, it says, games and activities, movie showcase, instant access. This is like things online, but the making of called An Epic at Sea, Fly on the Set, and another a blooper reel, different things that you would expect. I don't see anything on the first film to suggest that there was a prequel. So on the second one, Something. Oh, the music of Hans Zimmer. The World of Chow Yun Fat. That's cool.
Ooh.
Inside the Brethren Court. The Taste of Many Jacks. Anatomy of his. Am I looking at? Oh no, I'm looking at World's End. The Taste of Many Jacks. That stuff was funny. I should be looking at this right now. Captain Jack, Meet Davy Jones, bloopers of the Caribbean, and much more. Movie showcase. So I don't see anything specifically on here about the short, because I would think it would have been advertised on the second one because it was released after the first one, right?
Yeah, it should be on. If it was, it should be on at World's End. And I'm seeing here, looking at IMDb, it does say connections, followed by Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. So
it came out in 2011 after all three of the first trilogy. So maybe because when did At World's End came out in
2007.
So it came out 4 years later. Yeah, maybe on the fourth film there would be something about it.
Well, maybe that's the connection then, is that they go to Shipwreck Cove or something, that they filmed it during the fourth movie, because they use that same location.
Yeah.
So
either way, I'm glad they did it.
Yeah. So I'm quite happy about that. So, which then of course brings us into our real reason for really being here is, of course, the film itself, which would be Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. So that's our little that's our little skull poster there. So
and I love from the second one where it was kind of the tiki voodoo kind of poster, where this is more of like an Asian style poster with the red bandana with the Asian writing up above, because of them going, where did they go? Was it like Singapore or something like that?
Yeah.
And so I loved all of that, them going there, the feel of it, the vibe, them needing to help, but they're double crossing, and then the British showing up anyways. That was such a phenomenal set, scene, everything. The fight was great. Like later in the film, that where they're going down the toilet bowl, that went on and on and on and on and on. Early on, when they're in Asia, wherever exactly, it was great. It got to the point. It was fun. It got us all the information we needed to continue the story, and it just didn't drag. Where the third act of this film was just teeth pulling. So and I'll tell you what one of the things that really made me love this film, the way it started out, I was so pissed off, not at the film, but at the British people for hanging. If you've ever associated with a pirate, if you've ever helped a pirate, if you've ever talked to a pirate, now you're gonna all be hung. And they have the little kid up there on the gallows, and then the little kid starts singing whatever the song is, yo, no, whatever that what I'm talking. Remember the song that he was?
No, I know the song. I have no idea what it's from.
It's like like sailors know that song, and then Bubbles from Trailer Park Boys redid that song, but it was about kitties, about kitty cats. It was hysterical.
Okay.
But anyways, he starts singing that song, and they're just hanging all those people, and I'm like so mad. I'm like, we got to kill all these Brits, so that really got me emotionally invested into the movie. Where the first two, I was just like, okay, these are going to be fun, and they were fun, and then at points they dragged or whatever. But this one, I was like, let's go, we got to start killing people. So it really, I thought it was very ballsy, where it just
Apologize.
they went darker than I would expect a Disney film to go right off the bat.
Oh, well, yeah, well, especially with hanging a kid.
Yeah.
They even give him something to stand on. Not like, oh, you're a kid,
Yeah.
get out of here. No, it's
Yeah.
like, nope, here you go. You can stand right on this with that noose around
Oh,
your neck.
and what do you call him? The guy that stands on the gallows,
Like the executioner, or
yeah, I think there may be, he is the executioner, but I think there may be like a specific name for him. But he his costume was great, very dark, and just it looked every bit of the part of what you would expect, at a gallows, at a hanging, and I would scroll through and try and find the dude who played that role and see what they label him as. Oh, no way. I didn't know that I have his autograph. The executioner was played by Bob Elmore. John Ward, let me remind you, Bob Elmore, let me make sure I am looking at the right one. I don't want to tell you the wrong one. Yes, he was Leatherface in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
So, John, you and I met him at Creep IE, and he has since passed away.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, he was
Wow.
so nice. Remember, I got I was like, "Oh, are you going to be here tomorrow?" And I brought my Funko Pop and everything and got him to sign it.
Yes. Yeah.
So, yeah, that was him. He was our executioner. How
Oh,
cool
okay. And a
is that?
character
I
that
did
you
not
like.
know.
Yeah.
So I should have pulled down my Bob Elmore autograph to show everybody there.
But we did not know. Next
No.
video.
Yes.
Do you think, because if we go back to this, there is Chinese writing up here. Do you feel that Disney just went, you know what, we need to pander to the Chinese market because that's going to make us a shitload of money. So we better get Chow Yun Fat and bring in Singapore and other locations because
I don't think so, because we had Asians in the second one. But in this one, because we brought pirates from all around the world, who was going to be the coolest, most exciting to go to? I think the Asians were such a different style of pirate, that I thought it was fun to go to them. And I'll tell you, man, when that Indian pirate talked and he's like, "Oh yeah, where'd you go to?" Or whatever, in that high pitched voice was hysterical. I was like taking a sip of my Diet Coke, almost spit it out. But because they were at that big table and they all had the 9 pieces of 8, take a look at any one of those pirates, and go like, okay, which one would have been better for them to go to? None of them. The going to Asia was perfect.
Yeah, that was a really good scene. So we'll get now into the different characters like we've done on the other videos. So let's start, of course, with our main guy. Where is he? I really should number these. Where is he? Oh my God, where is he? Why could I not find Johnny Depp? Did I not? Oh, this is disappointing. Where is he? Did I accidentally delete him? Well, crappy. But what was your thoughts on Johnny Depp on Captain Jack in this particular film?
Hunter S. Thompson, you mean?
Yes.
Make that poster go away for a second.
Like just totally go away?
Here's
Oh,
my Johnny Depp autograph.
very
And
nice.
one of my favorite movies ever is Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. So you could get him on the Fear and Loathing poster. You could get his autograph on any type of pirate stuff. I love this scene, him with the typewriter as Hunter S. Thompson. And so I'm trying to show it without the glare here. But I love Johnny Depp. There's his autograph. I wish it was in a brighter color pen so it would show, but it's fine. You can see it there. It looks fine up on the wall. But anyways, I thought I would bring my Johnny Depp poster, or it's an 11 by 17 autograph, worth somewhere in the neighborhood of $300. That I have framed right there. So Johnny Depp was on my list of bucket list of people that I had to have their autograph. So I have it. And that was a one of a kind. I could not find any other with him signed that particular size picture and that particular picture of him with the typewriter and stuff. So I love that. I am loving Johnny Depp in the Pirates movies. I think he's phenomenal. I wouldn't change his character at all. I love the conflict that the character experiences of, I'm a bad guy. I shouldn't be caring about people. But this part of the reason I love this so much was, at the beginning when they had to go find and they had to bring Jack Sparrow back to life. And so they go to Davy Jones' locker. Well, that was so much fun getting to Davy Jones' locker. But as they're on the way and they go off the edge, which I love because that is another homage to the ride, because you're going on the ride and you hear dead men tell no tales. And then you drop off the edge of the world and wind up, down with the pirates. And that's on the ride. So I love that their ship did that. And then when we're waiting to figure out what happened to them, we cut to Johnny Depp and he's dead. And so is Jack Sparrow in hell, and his personal hell is being surrounded by a bunch of himself, just different versions of Jack Sparrow. So that I thought was very funny. And it was an interesting way to show. It was that purgatory, was that hell, was that, wherever, wherever Davy Jones' locker was, where Jack Sparrow was dead, his nightmare was being surrounded by himself and only having one peanut. And the peanut goes full circle to the end of the film with Barbossa giving the peanut to the monkey at the end, which, Jack ends up, he has the fork and knife and everything, and he's about to eat one peanut, half of a peanut even. Yeah. So that was so fun. And the way the different Jack Sparrows were so funny, and the way they interacted with each other was so great. And right as we're leaving that scene, the one like skeleton, the dead Jack Sparrow's like, "Don't move. I dropped my brain."
Yeah. Yeah, so he was the one that was like his version of he took over the Flying Dutchman. So he stuck
like he was like Will Turner's dad. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then he pulls out. Yeah. And he's got his big brain up there.
Yeah.
Which was all good. And so remember I told you on the last video, I hated this when I first saw it. My memory of this is so bad because what I remember was the first hour of the movie was Jack on the beach with the beached boat and the crabs. And I was watching it going, this is not a Pirates movie. What is this? This is garbage. And I don't think I finished it. I think I turned it off because I don't remember all that stuff maybe in like the last 90 minutes, since this film is almost freaking 3 hours. And but then that stuff is later.
Yeah.
Him on the beach is like, what, 30 minutes into it, maybe longer. Jack's not in the movie a lot, at the beginning. Once they find him, then he's all over the place. But yeah, I've completely switched on this because I was really thinking, Curse of the Black Pearl is really good. It's like you pulled it off, guys. You did it. You took a ride and made a great movie that made a ton of money. Can you do it again? And then with the second one, like I said, I thought it was very bloated. I enjoyed it. It's too long. It's bloated. Why do we need two things that roll? But then seeing this and getting your message, I'm like, this could be my favorite one. And Jack Sparrow's not even in the first part of the movie.
Yeah. This gave me vibes of, at times, of Monty Python's type stuff and Time Bandits.
Okay.
The ship on the beach and everything. I was like, and him with the craziness going on and stuff. I was like, you know, and so it was giving me vibes of movies that I love. I don't know if they were paying homage to any of those, you know, directly or not, but it reminded me of those movies. The stuff on the beach, you know, with them showing up, you know, they go off the edge of the earth, their ship is destroyed. You know, they're stranded on the beach. I thought that was very funny. And then Jack shows up and he doesn't believe they're real. You know, and they're trying to convince him they're real and stuff. And then as he's selecting the crew, what does he tell the guy with the eyeball or something like, no, I don't want you, you're weird, or something like that. It was,
yeah, why not? That's because he says it again towards the end of the movie. He goes, yeah, people who could stay, and he mentions him.
Yeah, those were, you know, we've talked about, and you specifically referenced those two characters in both of the first two films, and they were so funny. And I can't imagine that they're on your list of characters to talk about, so I'll just mention it now. When they figured out that they had to turn the ship upside down when the sun rose to come back to life, and Jack starts, you know, running back and forth, rocking the ship back and forth, how they have the brilliant plan to tie themselves upside down, so when the ship turns over, they're right side up. But what they don't realize is, you know, that they're once again gonna be upside down. So it's like they have those genius moments that turn out to be really stupid. I do enjoy both of those characters, and I'm glad that they've been all the way through all three films. And such a significant part, and the fact that his eye is one of the pieces of 8.
Yeah.
So now you kind of understand why he's, you know, and that was probably written in for the third film. That probably wasn't their idea, that his eye would have been one of the pieces of 8, you know, in the first film, because, you know, he's losing his eye. It keeps popping out and problems with it. But I did find that to be very funny, and those guys were great. But you know, catching up and meeting with Jack, and some of the banter between him and Barbossa was so good, because, oh yeah, there you go. Like when Barbossa pulls out his whatever that thing's called, like binocular thing, his monocle, or not, I don't think it's monocle, whatever that thing is.
The telescope.
The telescope. He pulls his out and it's gigantic, and then Jack Sparrow's is like little tiny. He's like, he just puts it away, and then later in the film he has the gigantic one. It's like, it's kind of like warped because it's just too long. So things like that were just very funny. They're showing their dominance, who should be the captain of the ship. So
well, and it's all penis envy, you know. It's mine is bigger than yours, and Jack's is tiny, just like his dinghy is tiny, and so then of course, yeah, he has to compensate and have the giant one. So basically, you know, he got the Porsche of you know, telescopes, you know, so it is very, you know, funny stuff. And I am really thinking I have a feeling I think it's my favorite one. So then we have, after Jack, then of course there's Elizabeth, and she's becoming more and more dominant. So what do you think about that?
Well, and that's so like with her character, I have two thoughts about her character. One, she's a flat out hoe. She's in, she loves Will, and you're like, okay, well, she's just kissing Jack in the second one to trick him so she can get him to stay on the boat. But then in the third movie, she genuinely has feelings for Jack. And then it's like, well, Will's dead. Will went down with the ship. He got stabbed. He's dead. And now she's leaving Jack and she goes to kiss Jack. It's like, wait a minute, the love of your life just died. And now you're moving on to Jack. And then that other, and I don't remember his connection, but the other guy, the British guy that showed up that she kind of had a thing with, you could tell she had a relationship with in the past, and they talked about their past a little bit. And he then, she's like, well, you chose your side. And then he comes back and rescues, allows her to leave the ship before he gets killed. And she's all heartbroken because he got killed. And it's like, now a third guy. And so, she was supposed to marry the Commodore or whatever that guy was.
Yeah. This guy here, Davenport
was he wasn't the Commodore, was he from the
he was the guy that went after Jack. Then in the second one, he was all dirty and torn up.
That's him.
He brings the heart to the main guy, to the main bad guy, and then reinstates him. And then that's what he goes after Jack again. So she has Will, Davenport, and to a degree, I think Jack. I think that there is something there.
Oh yeah, no, she definitely went to kiss him, and he's like, nope, once is enough. So I didn't realize
promoted to the rank of admiral in return for giving Beckett Jones. Return for giving Beckett Jones's heart, he has allied himself with Beckett and the company, although he still cares for Elizabeth, his former fiancée, and finds himself torn between his duty and his growing dislike for Beckett.
So the fact that he was all like clean cut and everything again, I just didn't recognize him. So that
he's the one that when he went into the into Beckett's office and he's like, you summoned me, and you could tell like he's just, I don't like you. I don't like this guy at all. And then he goes, but for your new position, you get the sword. And he goes over and he's got that sword.
Yeah. And is that the same actor, Davenport, that played that character in all three films?
It is James Norrington. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because in the others,
I'm sorry. Jack Davenport is the actor.
Is the actor's name.
James Norrington is the character. I apologize.
Okay. But and they always, was it Commodore they called him, or whatever he was? Not his rank. He got promoted to admiral from whatever he was. But anyways, okay, so I didn't recognize him. So anyways, yeah. So she has three guys, that it's just like, man, Elizabeth, chill out, broad.
And then we even have, I was going to use this because it's I think a very hot picture of Keira Knightley, but she's, and I brought this for Chow too. Chow's all over her. He tries to SA her, and then he's killed.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm telling you that stuff in Asia was great. And right there, her look right there, I was like, oh man, she's giving me Amidala vibes from Star Wars.
Oh yeah,
with her look right there.
I could see, yeah, totally.
yeah, with the outfit and everything. But I thought so her character was great, and the whole like so easily moving from one man to another kind of tells us a lot more about her, where I don't think she's just this goody girl next door anymore, where I think she's just like, I just want a man that's going to take care of me now. So I'm just going to go from man to man to man, whoever's here.
See, that's funny. I got the opposite. I got that she is now like a full-fledged pirate, and she realizes you have to do this stuff to move up. That too, because she becomes king, when Chow dies, which is brilliant casting.
Well, okay, so that's the other aspect of her that I wanted to address in this film. But I just think, or the aspect of her love going from Will, and then Will dies, and she just immediately goes to kiss Jack. And Jack's like, whoa. That to me was what, as far as her personality there, on that end of the spectrum, I thought, okay, that tells me a little bit more about that character. But her going, okay, I'm a pirate now, I'm an outlaw, and so yeah, I'm going to vote for myself to be captain, and then I'm going to embrace becoming king, which I thought was funny that they addressed her as king. After she won the vote there.
That's all. They've never had queen. That's all they have. So in this case, I would say king is appropriate. Otherwise, I would say a woman can't be a king. But if you've never had a queen, she'd be a king.
Yeah. So all that stuff, I liked her character, and it didn't bug me that she was climbing the ladder and the movie was kind of being more about her at times than even Jack or anybody else. I was okay with that because she's been so prominent in the franchise. Her becoming king, all this stuff I thought was great. It really kind of, bugged me a little bit at the toward the very, very end where, when she pulls out a sword and starts sword fighting, and it's like, wait a minute, broad, you don't know how to sword fight. So all of a sudden, because you've become king and everything, girl power kicks in. And
I don't think she does it in the first film, but doesn't she use a sword in the second film?
Yeah, but I mean, she's not a trained, fighter or anything, and so, or swordsman. So I just thought it was a little over the top. They gave her a little too much of being a badass that I just thought it didn't work for me. But I wasn't like, it's too girl power, girl boss or anything. That stuff didn't get to me. I didn't think they went too far with any of that. But her skill and fighting, her ingenuity, I liked, and that she has been very creative and figuring out ways, kind of like Jack Sparrow would. She figured out how to get things done through ingenuity, and I like that. We talked about this. What was the other ballerina?
Yeah,
where ballerina, sometimes she may not have had the skill that John Wick did, but she would find other ways, to get the job done. And that's where I thought that Elizabeth in this was very good at figuring out how to get things done and get what she needed to get done or get what she wanted. And I thought that was all great. So it was very different at the end, at the very end, with her having obviously her child being 10 years old, and apparently a sunset kiss gets you pregnant. Or that kid is not Will's. But I don't know that she just turned into kind of a floozy for me, going from one guy to another.
But she's so hot. Look at that.
Oh yeah, no problem. With her physical appearance at all. And, she's a phenomenal actress, and I love the character. I don't know that I'm having an issue with her. I don't know if I want to call her a wench, if I want to call her a floozy, if I want to call her, what I choose your name, a bimbo, whatever, but a tramp, but just being so willing to go from guy to guy, or having feelings for so many different guys show in one film. The whole history with one guy is fine, but they almost had a moment like they were about to kiss. So I was just like, man, this is interesting with her. But I didn't necessarily have a problem with that. I just found it interesting that they kind of went there. And I wonder if they thought that all through with her character to kind of bring her full circle of her going like, well, this guy's dead, so I'm going to move on to him. Oh, he's dead, move on to him. So and then bringing her full circle to being a wholesome mom who's now waited 10 years for Will to come back. So, but has she? That's my question now. With her being so quick to jump in somebody else's lips.
I don't. I think that she is. I think that she waited. But I do have questions about Will that I don't think make a lot of sense. So why is it that when Davy Jones took over the Flying Dutchman, they all look like barnacled sea animals, but when he takes it over, they look like people? That all falls off, but the ship still looks the same. But why? And I guess they can go underwater and stuff too.
Yeah. Well, but they went underwater in the second one because the ship came up out.
But they're not all barnacled fish people. Now
I know.
More,
and
more
so
human.
Once, at least they did something, and that was they had all the barnacles and everything fall off everybody, and they showed them all turning back into looking like regular people. So at that point I went, well, this is captain's preference. The captain of the ship gets to determine what they look like or whatever. But in like part 2, they're talking about how it's like a curse that they're looking like that and stuff. So and he is still cursed that he has to be there. So I don't understand why. You are correct. That is a loophole that they did not fill in as far as how they were all able to kind of look like people again and not these sea creatures. That left a question mark for me. Like how did they should have addressed it more. They did. They showed that it happened, but not how it happened. And again, goes back to me saying, I want to know how or why these things happen. You have to explain.
In this case, I agree with you. Yeah, because he should be, because there are, when I was getting pictures for this, there are pictures of him, which I think are just fan stuff, but it's him with the barnacles. And I guess it's like, well, this is probably what he should have looked like.
I've never, they didn't show that in the movie.
No. So I think, so yeah, it's I also think I got a little tired of Will I got to save my dad. I got to save my dad. I got to save my dad.
Oh, that was definitely tiring. Definitely tiring. And him, I'm not going to kill you because you're my dad, after his dad's tried to kill him so many times. It was like, he's tried to kill you. Just kill him. It's not your dad anymore. But he's like, oh, I know my dad is still in there, so I'm not going to, which at the end of the movie, okay, he was right not to kill his dad, but it did get tiresome. But I will say about Will, with as much as I kind of got annoyed with his character, once he died, and I loved how, and you knew they were going to do it. It was very predictable. When Jack is looking at Will's dying, and then you see the heart, the air, the knife go through the heart. You knew it was going to be like them having Will stab the heart so that Will got to live. And that was, one of those moments for Jack Sparrow of his inner conflict of, am I going to be a bad guy or a good guy? Because the bad guy in me says, screw Will. I want to live forever. I want the eternal life. So the fact that he gave that to Will showed the good in Jack Sparrow. So that, that was just one of those moments that was pretty strong in the film for both characters. But I love how after Will dies, and when he comes back, he should have looked like the sea creature. He didn't look like that, but he really looked like a pirate. He had the darker hair now. He had the beard thing going on. He really became a pirate. And I liked his look a lot, because he went from the, the kind of dirty brown hair guy to, the full evil dark hair, because Disney, light hair people are good, dark hair people are bad. And he went to the full dark hair. He went to the dark side. So the whole beard and everything, it worked for me, showing, okay, he's a full-fledged pirate now.
So kind of going off of something that you had mentioned. So maybe it's Davy Jones is a bad guy. That's why they all look that way. You're on a ship.
Yeah.
It's you're part of his crew. He's not a good guy. He's just a blown out pirate. And so that's why he looks like that. Will is a good guy who does the right thing. And so because he has a heart and because he helps people and wants to save his dad, he still looks like Will, but like you said, a little more like a pirate. So maybe that's why he's
it could be normal. It's a solid theory, but I think it's still a theory because I don't think they gave us any information.
Not at all.
Specifically the case. But that I did kind of think something like that. Well, like, okay, Will took over and it's his preference now. So, but the interesting thing about it is, so we talk about Davy Jones' locker and stuff. Well, Davy Jones is gone now. And now Will is essentially replaced Davy Jones. So now if Will has this power, maybe Will has the power to change that. But if that's the case, why didn't Davy Jones change, the way he looked? I just wish they would have given us a little more, maybe even one line of the pirates after you see them all kind of looking at themselves going like, oh, look, I'm back. One of them should have just said, man, thank you. I don't know why Davy Jones did this to us, or forced us to look like this. That would have explained everything. I wish they would have given us that little nugget to get us there.
I think that Davy Jones with the Flying Dutchman, and that's why, and the crew all looking the way they did, is why Will's dad, Bootstrap, kept saying, you don't want to do this. You don't want to be part of this crew. You don't, because they have no other knowledge of the ship and what could become of it. If Will at that moment stabbed the heart and Davy Jones died, and then maybe the whole boat would have turned normal. But they have no
there's still a curse. See, because the thing is, they could have said, oh, Will, you broke the curse. And I thought for a moment when they stood there on the beach and had their moment, I was thinking, oh, in the post-credit scene, I was like, Will stabbing the heart, did that break the curse? Now that they've killed Davy Jones, maybe they don't have to go back to the sea. Maybe Will can stay up. But no, Will had to return to the sea for 10 years, and he can only come see her once every 10 years. So with that being said, the curse is still there. So they haven't lifted the curse that would have made these guys look like sea creatures. So there is something missing that we should have got that explained.
Yeah, because maybe with the curse, they looked like Davy Jones and his crew looked normal at the beginning, but over all the years, because you see that Will's dad becomes more barnacled. And in fact, I have a picture of him here because I was just going to bring him up as one of the characters, but he looks a lot worse here.
Yeah.
And so maybe at the very beginning of Davy Jones, they looked normal, and just over those years, they became more and more like this. So who knows? But when we see at the end that it's been 10 years and Will comes back, he's more beautiful than ever.
Right. So, there's definitely it. So at one point specifically during this movie, I told myself, don't complain about this. Don't have an issue with this, because it's a tale. It's a fairy tale. It's a fantasy tale. It's magical. It is things that aren't really happening. So there's things you have to forgive, like them right before the ship goes down, Jack cutting the ropes and turning that thing into a parachute that goes up for some reason. And it's like parasailing where you can get it to go up and stuff. And I'm like, it's magic. You don't need an answer for everything. But when you break a curse and you change the way everybody looks, I kind of want to answer for that.
I would agree.
So
yeah,
I think makeup here looked great. I like the fact that he was still human, but he had all these things on him versus turning into a hammerhead shark.
Yeah. Yes, you did have a problem with that. Yeah. And I thought about that while watching this. Like, why is he a hammerhead shark? Why is he, did he kind of like the guy with the goat? Did he just really like hammerhead sharks a lot?
What? He loved that hammerhead shark.
Yeah, all night.
Yeah.
So what about this guy here? Did you like him returning? Did you like him not being a dead ghost and all that?
Yes, I love, because what we get out of him throughout this franchise now is that he is like a more mature Jack Sparrow. He has an ounce of good in him, not as much good as Jack Sparrow does, but he has an ounce of good. But he is just a great character. He's a great adversary for Jack because he's not, he's willing to kill and he's willing to let Jack die, no problem, because they're adversaries, but he's just not the true evil adversary that Davy Jones was, or like the British are. And their rivalry, because they both want to be the captain of the Black Pearl. It's such a fun rivalry. So I was glad that they brought him back, and they gave a good reason why he needed to be part of bringing Jack back to life, so that he was willing to go along with it, because in general, he'd be like, no, I don't want Jack back. It's my ship now. Problem solved. But I thought he was great. And I enjoy him as an actor. And he is one of those guys that is as crucial to the franchise as, maybe not as much as Jack, but he is as crucial to the franchise as Elizabeth, and definitely as crucial as Will Turner is. So yeah, I'm glad they brought him back. And I love that. I don't remember who, but somebody called him. Was it Davy Jones or somebody that calls him Hector? Or was that Jack Sparrow that called him, hey, Hector? Because his first name, it's Hector Barbosa.
Right.
And so when they called him Hector, I was like, oh, that's funny. That is like a slap in the face show of disrespect. But who it came from, and I forget who delivered that line. It had to have been Jack Sparrow or Davy Jones. I think it was Davy Jones, who, when Barbosa first saw Davy Jones, and Davy Jones was like, hey, Hector, hello, Hector. I thought that was very funny. So, but his character was great. Glad that he was such a huge part of this. And his the actor Jeffrey Rush, I say, Johnny Depp could not be recast. Keira Knightley, maybe you could have found somebody else to play the role. Jeffrey Rush, maybe, but on the hierarchy of needing that specific actor for that role, you needed Johnny Depp. Then second, I think Jeffrey Rush. You could have, I would want him back if you said, well, we're replacing Jeffrey Rush or Keira Knightley. Who do you pick? I would pick Jeffrey Rush. Give me a different Keira Knightley. But all three of them supersede Will and Orlando Bloom. You could have, picked any number of handful of actors. Now, Orlando Bloom is a phenomenal actor. He did a great job throughout the trilogy, but he was out of the top four there. He was the most replaceable actor. So I'm glad Barbosa was back. The way the film plays out is great. And, for them to, be willing to kill Will Turner and give him the curse that that Davy Jones had. I thought that was interesting. That was kind of unexpected. I didn't think, because usually Disney, all the good guys survive. It's just, how are they going to survive? And so for Will to completely flip and become this cursed pirate, I thought was very interesting. And for Barbossa to kind of end up stealing the ship from Jack again was very funny. And there's Jack back to square one. Like, dang it, where's my ship?
Well, it begins the way it ends the way it begins with him on the ship.
Very, very Final Destination-ish, where the end is the beginning, but it's not in this, but they do really come full circle.
Is there a problem? Because you do like to have answers. The Swamp Witch he's not dead anymore. And at the last movie, we see him walking down the steps. And in this movie, he's human. He's normal. He's not dead anymore. They don't really say anything. And they talk about the two guys, the one guy with the eye. They say, well, why can't she just bring Jack back like she did with with him? Yeah. And she's like, that's because Jack isn't dead. So there isn't really, like, how did he come back? What did she do to get him to be normal again?
Yeah. What did they call her?
We're going to get to her in a second. So she's Calypso, and
Calypso.
Then she's one of the main.
Yeah, Dalma. So so I'm confused, because I was thinking nothing about only about her as you were asking that question. What's the question again? What did
do you have a problem because you like to know how things are done? Is in the previous movie, he walked down the steps. He's human. In this movie, he's human. And they never give a reason
you're
to
saying
why.
Who's he?
Barbossa.
Why he's human or skeleton or whatever?
He's not anymore. He's human.
Yeah. Well,
so there was no.
She touches him. Remember, she
touches him, saying, "I can turn. I can
turn you back." Yes. So I think because the curse was passed on because Jack had the P on him now instead of Barbossa. Remember, the P got switched over to Jack, had the black spot on his hand or whatever.
I thought the P was on there from the British guy doing he branded him.
But Jack had the black thing on his hand. Once that happened, that turned Barbossa back to human, I thought. That curse, once Jack got that curse, and I thought the P had something to do with it, but that curse, once that switched over to Jack, Barbossa was human again. That's the way I interpreted it.
Oh, I took it that the Swamp Witch did it, because she knew that he had that Barbossa had to help, so she turned him back to human again, but showed him that she could turn him back to the skeleton. And then the two guys, like with the guy with the eye, they asked her, well, why can't you just do that to Jack? And she's like, because Jack's not dead.
Yeah. In Dead Man's Chest, when they're having that little powwow and she looks and sees the black spot on Jack's hand, that to me was when Jack got that black spot. That was when the curse shifted from Barbossa to Jack. And that's why I think Jack had to get the heart and stab the heart and kill Davy Jones to lift the curse off himself. But the curse had to go to something like that. There was a lot going on. There's a lot of like subplots and stuff. So it is little kind of foggy to me because of now seeing almost 8 hours of this franchise. So I'm probably over 8 hours. 246. No, we're probably about 8 hours worth of this franchise in these 3 films. So there are things that are a little foggy to me, but I just took it as once Jack got the curse, Barbossa was back to human.
Okay, yeah, 2 different ways of looking at it. So, and what about Mr. Chow here, Mr. Chow Yun Fat, one of the greatest people ever to grace our screens. I absolutely love Chow.
Yeah, and his. Oh, am I looking at the wrong film here? I like to be able to like have things to reference people by. So he was here, but I can't believe on the list of the top build, he's not in the top 20 build actors here. They have him so far down, but he's phenomenal. And thinking of him from movies like Hard Boiled and classic martial arts films, to have him in a pirate movie, I just thought was very cool. And being such a like an evil badass was great. But maybe his little tick of wanting more steam, I thought was very funny. And I was like, well, I wanted a little bit more of that, them explaining why he likes steam so much or whatever, because he kept, more steam, more steam, more steam. I thought that was very funny. But as a pirate captain boss guy, he was great. He was intimidating. He was scary. He looked the part, and adding another legendary actor to the franchise was very cool. To me, I thought it was very cool.
That's the good thing about this. They target these older, great actors, these classic actors, these kind of legends and icons that instead of just making this all about 20 somethings and where you're not believing, like how can that 19-year-old type of thing. They really sought out all these actors and Bill Nighy and just all these people that I'm very interested in seeing who they get for like the next 2 movies. I mean, I know who the villain is in the next one. I mean, it's right on the box, but it's once again another classic actor. But it's these guys are just classics. And I have been watching Chow since the early 90s when my friends and I would go to Chinatown and we would watch all the Chinese movies uncut and they were subtitled. And we were watching Jet Li and Jackie Chan and Chow and stuff. And it was just all these guys. So I have loved Chow, and I'm curious, maybe in behind the scenes, it might say something, but I know originally, like when he did Bulletproof Monk and stuff, I'm pretty sure he did it phonetically because he didn't know English. So I wonder with this film if he learned English to do it in. So because he sounded pretty good, but it's like the guy from Squid Games, and he was on like the Acolyte and some other stuff. So when he does American stuff, it's done phonetically because he just doesn't know English. Maybe he does now, but
I'd have to take it. I've never seen Squid Games. I tried.
Oh, I haven't either.
I just don't. Okay.
Yeah, I just know about the actor was talked about. So and then I did bring up earlier that maybe this is to appease another place, to get money out of.
Well, China loves to ban movies for any little tiny reason, but you definitely, if there wasn't an audience captivated already, you definitely attracted an Asian audience because of this. But this is where things are so weird for American films, because Italian films, they watch them in Italy. Korean films, they watch them in Korea. We watch stuff from all around the world. But more than any of that, people all around the world watch American films because they're just done the best. The most money's thrown at them. Actors from it's like sports. Athletes from all over the world come to the United States to be in sports here because they're going to make the big bucks. They're going to be in the better sport. And in films, they're going to be in a better film. So, American movies are just shown and dubbed everywhere, where there's not a lot of, like Bollywood films out there that are shown in American theaters. But you go to theaters in Asia or India or wherever, and you bet your ass they're showing, X-Men or Avengers or whatever, if it isn't banned in that country because of political reasons. Nothing's going to North Korea, but in the free world, American movies are going there. So there was already going to be an American audience, but I'm sure this added to the audience. But I don't know that it made a substantial difference. One, because this movie made less money than its predecessor. So it made more than the first, but less than the second, where, this is,
the second was $1 billion.
Yeah. Well, and this one has, this one's sitting at 961 million. So just under $1 billion, but it's basically $100 million lower than Dead Man's Chest. So, and progressively these films, IMDb has, everybody's rated the first one at 8.1, then Dead Man's Chest at 7.4, and then at World's End 7.1. 7.1 is still a phenomenal rating on IMDb, but it is like substantially lower than the other films. So people are not enjoying this one nearly as much. But I don't think it's, I think the Asian thing did not detract from the quality of the film. I love everything about it and how they went and got them, and went there and got them involved and stuff. So yeah, his character was great.
And I'm thinking of buying this. That's his action.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm thinking of buying it. There's like 3 different versions of all of these characters. There's like the super deluxe version and all that type of stuff. But I just like him. So I'm thinking, I don't know, I might pick that up at some point because I think that's kind of cool.
It is a cool looking action figure. Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll show up at a convention somewhere, and I wonder if Chow Yun-fat has ever done, because there's the martial arts convention in LA once a year. So and man, do they get all the legends. I mean, not Jackie Chan and not like Jet Li and
Jet Li, I don't think has been. That's who I was trying to think of. Yeah. But
anyways, I do want to take a break for just 1 second from the other characters to just say, rest in peace, Kraken.
Yeah, that was funny. And I love how, the 2 guys, there they are walking, behind Jack and Barbosa. I love how they were talking about, because they're hungry, they were talking about like cooking it. Like it's just a quick little comment, but it was funny. But yes, rest in peace, Kraken. And I'm glad we had the Kraken. We dealt with it in part 2. I'm glad we moved on from that. We didn't need the Kraken to come back in this one. The swirling toilet bowl ocean was enough.
Well, there's a picture that I found where it's the swirling and the 2 ships and the tentacles coming out of it. And it does ask the question, would you like the Kraken to come out of this? And I thought, that could be kind of interesting. But I mean, it's sad that Kraken is gone, but it's at least we show respect to saying rest in peace, Kraken. So
yeah, it didn't really I didn't go like, oh, I was like, oh, Kraken's dead. Okay. I'm glad they explained why they weren't worried about the Kraken anymore, but I was okay with it being gone.
Okay. Well, now this Davy Jones. Did you notice anything really different about him and his crewmates? Because they did a major makeover on what he and his crewmates look like. And I went, whoa. And that's, look at that. They're totally
I know.
different looking.
That is hilarious. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that is a bizarre way to go. So maybe this is, Davy Jones and his men after the curse.
And and I'm not up to speed on these gentlemen right here. I know who they are, a bunch of monkey around goofballs. But the guy in the red shirt, is he the one in the film that lost his eye? He very much looks like he could be that guy.
It's very possible, because I think that the guy over on the other side wearing the purple vest there, I think he was the Hammerhead because of how his hat is.
Yeah, makes sense.
So it's it's really weird, the direction that that they decided to take with these characters. But who knows? Maybe this is how they look afterwards. So but this is what the real Davy Jones looks like. So I try to have consistency with these pictures, and I could not find him with just the other pictures, but this one is close enough because it's got the gray.
Oh yeah, that's Davy Jones. And I do like how at the one point we got to see Davy Jones, what he looked like before.
Yeah.
The octopus face or whatever there. But I don't know. I still not the biggest fan of that look. It's cool, but I don't know. I just, the whole like looking like sea creatures. I did think it was very funny though when they're having Jack and whoever had the box, and they're talking about, well, you don't have the key. And then later on, the chopped off barnacle thing comes by dragging the key. That I thought that was or tentacle or whatever, not barnacle, but tentacle thing comes by dragging the key. I thought that was funny.
This scene with him I found funny because he has to stand in like a bucket of water.
Yeah.
And they focus on the water. So it's like, where does he go from here? So like how did he get here? And then where does he go? Can he just walk out of the water for like 10 seconds and kind of make his way back into the sea, or do they have to drag it?
Yeah, well, and that's what, so, in the post-credit scene, we see, Will coming back, and, going to see the love of his life. She's up on a hill. If he has to stay in the ocean, then shouldn't she be closer to the beach? But
yeah,
if Will now has that curse, which supposedly he does, right?
Yeah,
but this was a very funny scene though.
I enjoyed it. And what did you what did you think of our swamp witch? Now,
I've liked her character. I liked her character in the last one, and I liked her character in this one. And even being the swamp witch, it's hard. It's like the TV show Ugly Betty. You knew Ugly Betty was still a very beautiful woman, where she is a gorgeous woman. And I've never seen her in real life, but you can just tell that this is a beautiful woman that plays this character. Oh, well, there you go. If I knew anything else she did, you would have known. But you could just tell, bone structure, and like she was a good-looking woman. So what they did with her, with the character, exposing the fact that she was, what did you say they called her again? She was Calypso. I knew it started with a C. I liked how once they finally turned her back into Calypso, and you had to get the one pirate whispering in her ear. Barbosa couldn't just say it. The cringy guy had to like whisper in her ear whatever the line was he said to turn her back. into Calypso, and then she grew up to be super huge. And I was like, oh, this is going to be cool. She's just going to go walking through the water and start like smashing all these other British ships now. But that didn't happen. She turned into a whole bunch of those little rock crabs that we saw carrying the boat earlier. And, you know, and then, you know, turned into the storm and everything. The only thing that I would have liked was, okay, she turned into the storm and made the whirlwind thing. I would have liked her character to kind of wipe out all those British ships or something, or do more damage.
What you were thinking is what I was saying. I was thinking they were going to do like a Gulliver type of thing where she rises from the water and just starts bashing all the boats and because she's so huge. And instead, she just kind of turns into all the crabs. The boat turns, the crabs go down, and they're, you know, all the pirates are like, okay, that happened. You know, like, what now? And then, then it just, the storm and then the swell and it, it's like, I guess she's helping. I guess in a way, she's helping.
I just thought there would be more from her helping them, but it was, you know, I like what they did with her, but then they had an opportunity to do something more with her and they didn't. They just kind of let her storyline fizzle, I thought.
And we briefly talked about her relationship with Davy Jones. Did you like that? Did that work for you, that they're actually
that they had a love affair? Well, especially, yes, I did, especially because they were two either cursed or magical or supernatural beings that, you know, you could almost do a prequel spin-off on what happened between them to get them there. You know, what happened with their love affair, and how did Davy Jones get cursed? How did she turn into the witch, and all, you know, whatever. It would be interesting to see more about their history, but I thought that was, you know, kind of cool. You know, how, you know, at that one point he sheds a tear and then he looks at it and he's like, all right, time to man up. Screw this shit. But I did think, did that add to the film? Did it progress the story? No, but I thought it was an interesting little tidbit that they gave us.
I enjoyed it. I thought that it was interesting, and I liked it. I did like that we got to see, you know, what Davy Jones looked like, you know, when he was normal. And like I said, I always love having these actors, because a lot of these actors are also in stuff like Underworld, where they play like the, you know, the vampire council and they're like the king and queens of the vampires, and they always get the older, definitely British actors to do this type of stuff. Charles Dance is one of them that they always get, so I'm hoping that maybe he pops up at some point. Maybe he did, and I just forgot. But speaking of people that popped up, so I guess we had to do this because we know where Johnny Depp got his.
I thought it was cool, man. I know where you're going, and when I saw him, I was like, no way, that's cool. I liked, and it was unexpected for me when they started showing all the pirates. I liked, and he, you know, because when I think of famous pirates throughout history, aside from Jack Sparrow, to me, the most famous pirate of all is Blackbeard. So I don't think through the first three films we've gotten anybody called Blackbeard. But when you think of Blackbeard, and Blackbeard, like from Peter Pan, right? Isn't that?
No, that's Captain Hook.
Or Captain Hook. Okay. So maybe he looks like the Captain Hook the most or whatever, but he looked like the pirate from Peter Pan. You know, his look there kind of. So, but I love that they brought him in, and I love that they let him be himself. And does Johnny Depp refer to him as dad at one point or something?
Yes.
Or is that in? Okay.
Yeah, no, he is definitely his dad. Yeah. He goes, I think he says, you're like, how's mom, dad?
Well, no. So there is a fake fan film like trailer thing out there, and I thought maybe it wasn't that. Oh no, because have you seen there's a fake trailer where Johnny Depp is like older and Jenna Ortega is plays Johnny Depp's daughter, and Jenna Ortega asks Jack Sparrow, who was my mom? And it's a fake trailer for a part 6 that doesn't exist. Somebody created. And so that's where I'm confusing that with this, but I like the fact that because their mannerisms and everything are so much alike, to actually make him Jack Sparrow's dad, I thought was hysterical.
Yeah, and we knew just they had to bring him in, and they gave him the guitar, and
Yeah, right.
I don't think it's annoying at all.
Oh no.
You know, I know some people went, oh, of course, you know, we've been talking about for years that Johnny Depp took his mannerisms, you know, from Keith Richards.
Well, I thought it's great. I mean, you've obviously modeled your characteristics and your body language, your mannerisms after this guy. Fucking throw him a bone, you know, get him in the franchise. And I thought this was perfect. They did it in a great way. They didn't make him a prominent role in the film. They didn't make him, you know, one of the top billed people, but they brought him in, and much deserved. I loved it.
Okay, so are you ready to find out the other rock legend?
I wonder. So, John, ask yourself this: do you think I'm gonna know who this person is?
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Okay,
Definitely.
okay.
I believe, and I want to go back and check, I believe he is at this table.
Okay, and so before you show this person, you, as you're watching the movie, you go, "Oh crap, that's so and so."
No, I didn't know it until I was looking at these pictures, and I said Keith Richards, and this person popped up. And the picture I'm going to show, I'm like, no, this is fake. He was not in this movie at all. Well, he was. So this is the poster that I thought was fake. I'm like, there's no way this is real. Now, this is a fake poster, but I'm like, there's no way he was in this movie. No way. Absolutely not.
No fucking idea who that is.
Paul McCartney. It says it right there. The Beatles.
Oh, I wasn't even reading that. Okay, I wasn't even reading that. Okay. But with the look of his face and the makeup and everything, I would have had no idea that was Paul McCartney.
Oh, I think he looks 100% like Paul McCartney.
Well, now that I realize the eyes and his, you know, his cheek lines and stuff, yeah, I see Paul McCartney now. So Paul McCartney really? Oh yeah,
there he is on set. Yeah, that's the director, and there's Johnny Depp.
Wow, and so I understand why you have brought in what's his name from the Rolling Stones?
Oh, Keith Richards.
Keith Richards, thank you. But Paul McCartney, that's interesting. And I've scrolled through the rest of cast listed alphabetically. And I just didn't see his because I didn't go to the rest of cast. Is he even listed here?
I think he might just be uncredited.
Yeah,
you know,
because
there he is with it's even from the Beatles, you know, YouTube page. So there's Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp doing what you and I do with actors,
right? Going like, oh,
you do the pointing.
Hey. But there are very few people on this planet that can stand next to Paul McCartney and not do that. So, but
yeah, I think he just likes being in things and around people because he keeps popping up and stuff. Like when I watch Spinal Tap 2, he's in it. All of a sudden he's working with Spinal Tap on their album. And it's just like, I think he just likes being Paul McCartney. I think he just likes being in movies and music stuff. And, you know, it's, you know, he was on that song with, you know, Rihanna and Kanye West where he just plays guitar.
If we were Paul McCartney, we would like things like that too. I love the fact when like movie stars are fans of movies. I like when musicians are fans of music, and they're not just like, it's tough because I'm such a fan of Megadeth, but Dave Mustaine is just such a pompous ass. He's a fan of himself, where you could talk to other heavy metal singers or guitarists or whatever and say, who was your inspiration? Who's your, and they'll talk about all these other bands that they love. And, so I like that. I like that he's a fan, but at nowhere on IMDb is Paul McCartney listed. So that is very interesting. And now I want to go back and see, and maybe even look at some special features to see if he's addressed at all as being there.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's kind of like Daniel Craig is in one of the Star Wars movies. I think it's The Last Jedi. He's a stormtrooper.
Just because he wanted to be.
He just wanted to be a stormtrooper. So it's
and there's
Rey is on the table and she's cuffed to the table and stuff, and she's the one that does the Jedi mind trick. And you could hear it's once you know it's Daniel Craig, you kind of hear that it's Daniel Craig.
Yeah. And that's, again, I love when, Richard Perry. Oh, no. Richard Perry. I'm down in the special effects. Why am I'm looking for actors now, but Richard Perry. Who am I thinking of? Perry, that's from Aerosmith. Steve Perry?
Oh, the guitarist.
Yeah,
but I know.
Perry?
I don't know. I would know it when they talk about it. I'm like, oh yeah, he's the guitarist, but I don't know his name off the top of my head.
Yeah. Anyways, I do. I think that is very cool, and now I am going to have to go look and see in the film. So I'll be putting that movie back in.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's around with all those pirates. That's what I think it is, because they're just looking at the location here. I think it's the meeting.
I don't think he was sitting at the table, but he was probably standing. And I bet if we look at Keith Richards, he's probably standing behind Keith Richards. It wouldn't surprise me if they put those two guys together.
I wonder if maybe there's just a picture of Paul McCartney.
Yeah. But see, like, I love, this down in the uncredited section, like Michelle Lee is down there, and, and she was in Black Widow and Bullet Train and all kinds of different things. Where they just get their little cameos and they're not really like fully credited, because they would be credited so far down and they don't want to hurt themselves. So they take an uncredited spot. And so they're shown like way down at the bottom. And that's where I was looking to see if Paul McCartney was down there. But unless he took one of those names, like a fake stage name, he's just not here, and that's interesting.
Yeah, he goes he has a name. It's because like Keith Richards is Captain Teague, and Paul McCartney is let me see if they have him. No, they don't have him listed here. He does have a different name. He's not like Pirate Paul or something.
Well, I mean, but under where it says the actual actor's name, I was wondering if it would say if he had an alias that he used instead of Paul McCartney.
Right.
Let's see what Google says. Was Paul McCartney in Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yes, Paul McCartney appeared in Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. He played Uncle Jack, Captain Jack Sparrow's uncle, and sang part of a song in a jail scene.
In a jail, he was in the jail. So that's funny. So he's in the jail. So that's funny, because what's in the jail? The dog with the key, and then and then the dog shows up later and stuff. But in this one, Well, it was not the jail from like part 1 and 2 with the dog and the pirates and stuff. This was a different jail. But okay, so he's Jack Sparrow's uncle. So that's even better.
Okay.
So Keith Richards is his dad, Paul McCartney's uncle. Perfect. And what did they say his name was? Did I exit out? Uncle Jack. He was just Uncle Jack. Funny. So is anybody listed as Uncle Jack in here? Under the credits. I want to know now.
Because they're not showing with pictures, they're not showing anything where you could maybe look. So is
well, so, okay, so they have singing pirates. So those would the singing pirates could have been the one. Singing gallows pirate. That's not what we want. Just the singing pirate, because he wasn't on the gallows. He was in jail. But yeah, they don't have Uncle Jack on here. Okay.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Okay, so Google said that he is in which film?
It said, it said Dead Men Tell No Tales.
That's the next one.
Okay.
That's part 4.
So we haven't seen him yet.
Yeah. So when I typed that in, it must have just pulled up his picture.
And I don't want to spoil for myself any other cameos that may be in that film. So I don't want to go look at it yet. But let's revisit Paul McCartney being in Dead Men Tell No Tales after we watch it.
Yeah, we'll definitely be, the jail scene, be on the lookout for
Yes.
Paul then. Yeah.
And we know what he looks like now with the, the kind of the musketeer looking kind of pirate hat where one side is curled up.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we got a little bit of homework then for the next movie. Got find Paul. Where is Paul?
There you go.
And then we come to the ending. So this is our I was okay with this. I guess they had sex.
Well, that's where I'm like, it's Disney. So they had a on-screen kiss and that led to her impregnation. Thank God that's not real, right?
Well, it's weird because they're on the shore. He goes, I need your other boot. Yeah. So he takes her boot off. And so I'm guessing, but then he leaves.
Yeah.
Because the sun is setting. And it's like, wait, if he's taking the boot off now and he's leaving, they didn't have sex?
Well, that's what it's. Yeah, he needs the other boot and she's putting her leg up and he, kisses her leg and stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of heavy, her thigh right there and everything. For Disney, this is pretty intense. But then, yeah, he just gets up and leaves. It must have been implied that the sex happened before and that maybe his boots were off because they just got done knocking the boots.
I guess that's kind of weird. Why not put the boot back on?
Well, maybe she, girls will sometimes, wear men's clothes or whatever. So maybe she was wearing his boots, like girls will take your t-shirt or something. Maybe she was. Maybe
it's easy for her to walk on the sand.
And they can't go, okay, Elizabeth, give me my shirt back and have her take her shirt off. They can't do that. So they can go, I need my boot back. Maybe she was stealing his boots because she didn't want him to leave. Maybe she thought that would keep him. So
it's weird.
But, it's obviously just implied with that post-credit scene that, and here's the catch now, the kid, was impregnated by a guy who has a curse. Should the kid not be cursed? Will the kid turn into a giant hammerhead shark? Who knows? Obviously not if
Yeah.
he's living on land, but you know what? My one real gripe about this post-credit scene is 10 years have gone by. I don't care. You look at any point in your life, fast forward 10 years, you don't look exactly the same. They should have aged her a bit, or, you know, him, he's the eternal, so leave him looking the same, whatever. But she shouldn't have looked like she has a 10-year-old kid and looks exactly the same as she did in the first 3 films. They should have just aged her a bit. But obviously you don't want to do that because you don't know if you're going to make, you know, a 4th film. Do you want her aged now? But I just, to me, I was like, she should look a little bit older, and she don't. But I mean, that's nitpicky shit. You know, it's not big, but to me, I was okay with this. Like I said, my biggest beef with the film was the wedding scene and her being this swashbuckling sword fighter. I had some issues with that stuff. The fighting scene where they're swirling down, you know, the whirlpool thing, whatever. It just, that shit went on so long. And the fact that the other ships didn't come to the rescue or start fighting, that bugged me. I mean, there was a lot in the 3rd act that I was like, ugh, that I at the first hour and a half of this film, I was like, this is the best of all of them. The 3rd act made me go like, I don't like this. The end of the film was okay, but this, maybe it's my 2nd favorite of them.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Where I would probably go 1, 3, 2.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. I don't know. This still might be my favorite. I don't know. I thought it was
John,
just,
it was 2 hours and 49 minutes.
Yeah, but it was just because there they are on the beach. So he's about to leave. So maybe they take the boot off so she walks on the beach, so she can walk on the beach better.
Well, she ran up. She's kissing him. She ran up to kiss him right before he left. It comes back with, you know, you see him asking her for the boot. That's where the scene picks up.
Right.
So it's implied that before this happened right here, that they had sex and they were naked and he needed his boot back. That has to be the implication, that unless he jizzed in a box and gave her the box, and you know, yeah. Maybe the new curse isn't the heart in a box. Maybe it's like the song. It's my dick in a box. My dick in a box, baby. You know,
this is a Disney movie, sir.
Justin Timberlake song, and from Saturday Night Live, those guys.
So they have sex here. He jizzes somewhere.
Yes.
And maybe
all
in a
up
boot,
in her,
maybe
apparently.
in a box. Yeah.
In a boot,
and then she waits for him for 10 years.
Yeah.
They have the kid. Like you said, he's now more piratey.
Yeah.
And then that's where it ends.
That's it. Yeah.
That's the end credit sequence.
So it could have been perceived as, okay, this is a passing of the torch moment where we want to make a 4th film and we're going to start it off, and it's going to be their saga where she's in love with him, and, you know, the kid wants to, you know, have his dad, and the dad's like, Will, being a dad now, wants to be around his kid, so he's trying to break the curse. Why would you wait 10 years? Why would you not just go like, okay, let somebody else stab the heart so I can turn back into human and go, you know, if this is like a hot commodity, let somebody else. Jack could stab this heart. Well, no, I guess because if you stab the heart now, he dies, huh? So
because then somebody has to be captive. Yeah.
Yeah. So he would have to die.
Can't she become part of the crew?
But she has a kid, and then she's damned to eternity on the ship.
Well, so is the kid. So you just raise the kid on the boat.
That's not fair to the kid, though. That's not Disney either.
The kid, what? Does the kid have a mortgage to pay? What the hell?
No, but you want your kid to you want your kid to have a good life, not be stuck on a crappy pirate ship, turning into a fish.
Rude. What if it's a really cool fish? I mean, what if he turns into like an orca?
If we keep debating this video is going to be as long as the film. Because we're getting there.
Well, there we go. We've
Yeah.
made it through another movie. So
Yeah.
3 films down.
I'm not mad at them. You know, I don't know why. I mean, I do, and I kind of explained that in the previous videos, why I hadn't watched this franchise. But now I ask myself, like, why didn't you watch these sooner? You should have forced yourself to watch them sooner. But hey, you know, sometimes you don't experience things and you experience them later in life. And you know, it's new to me. So while they're old or whatever, I got to experience them firsthand, and they weren't completely spoiled for me. Just like the 4th and 5th, I have no idea what's going to happen in those, and I want to keep it that way until I watch them.
Except Paul McCartney is there somewhere. He's in a
Well,
jail
yeah, now we
somewhere
know that. Yeah.
singing. But that's okay. It gives us something to you know, to look forward to. So
Yeah.
so
I
what
wonder-
what rating would you give this then? You thought it was great and now you think it's not so great. So what was your original rating going to be? Like Letterboxd, let's say. And now what is it?
So yeah, halfway through the movie, I was like, man, this is like a 4.5. This is a great film. But by the time it ended, I was at a 3.
Okay.
So,
and
and the other 2, I think I gave 3.5s, or maybe maybe 1 got a 4 and then 2 got a 3.5.
Yeah,
but I'm at a 3 in this one, but I feel like I like this one better than the second one.
I think the second one was just bloated. This at least had story
Yeah.
in it. It was long, but
It was still bloated.
And I'm very surprised that they didn't make this a part 1 and a part 2, because they could have done the 90-minute thing. But yeah, I think the first one, what I gave, I think like 4 stars. I think the second one I did like 3, because it was bloated. This one I'm back up to 4.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think it's as good as the first one. And even though I think it may be my favorite, that's kind of weird to say, but it's like my favorite band is the Monkees, but the greatest band out there is the Beatles. So Pearl would be the Beatles, while At World's End would be the Monkees.
Okay. So the first one, Curse of the Black Pearl, I gave it 4.5 stars.
Okay.
Because I really enjoyed it. The second one I gave 3.5 stars. But I like this better. So maybe this one's also 3.5. If I'm gonna go 4, because as I sit here and think right now, I'm like, the first one's not 4.5, it's more like a 4. And then the second one's like a 3.5, and this is probably like also a 3.5. But I'm not gonna go change my scores. That's what I thought at the time. And that's usually when I do letterboxes, right after I watch, not after it kind of marinated and maybe I've forgotten reasons why I liked it so much. But I have not put this one into Letterboxd yet, because I just finished it this morning.
Okay.
So, but it'll get a 3.5 from me. That's what I'll go 3.5.
And then we've got the Tales of the Code.
Yeah.
So the Wedlocked, which everybody should see if you're going to sit down and have a marathon. Start with this.
Yeah, and that adds to the first film for me. So I don't think that deserves like its own separate rating. But if I was going to say on a 10-minute short, you know, if it was rated 1 to 5, I would give it like a 3.5. I thought it was great. It was a lot of fun. But it didn't have just a tiny cameo from Jack Sparrow at the end. But I'm very glad it's there. But the fact that it does tell us why Jack Sparrow's ship was sinking at the beginning. So, you know, I don't know, maybe it's a 4, but it's right in line.
I would give it a 4.
Film.
Yeah. For a short little 10-minute film, it added, but it didn't seem pointless, you know?
Yeah. That's
it seemed to serve a, you know, a purpose to it. So, and there's Mr. Depp again. So now we're back with him. So, all right. So anything else, or should we wrap this up?
I think we should wrap it up and start looking forward to the next installment in the franchise, which I'll try and get to as soon as possible.
Yeah, what's the next one? On Stranger Things?
Tides or
On
something? Or?
Stranger Tides, something like that.
I forgot to get it. It's sitting there on my shelf, so I don't know.
I don't know. Oh no. Yeah, On Stranger Tides.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that will definitely be next, and then we have one more after that, which I don't even know the name of that one.
I've never seen the last one. I have no idea.
Okay.
I think I've seen part 4, maybe,
Okay.
but I'm not. I think I saw like a bootleg of it. I think I saw like a cam,
Okay.
you know, when it originally came out. So
I'm very happy to own this trilogy. One thing I do wish about this trilogy was they made this box 1 millimeter bigger to actually fit these in, because they just don't like to go in there without bending. The slip covers are all like warped because it's just too tight. So we like certain things tight. We don't like our slip covers tight.
that is true. That is true.
Yeah.
All right. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. And
It's been fun. I can't believe we're already through 3 of them.
I know, that's awesome. And yeah, definitely looking forward to the next one. So, all right. So thanks for watching, everybody. Please like, subscribe, share, would appreciate it. OGP's link is down below. Please click on that and join us on Sunday nights, but just subscribe to him irregardless of everything else. So, you know, just give him a good like and watch.
Yeah.
So, and remember, Sunday nights is Sunday Movie Mayhem. Did I get that right?
Nope.
No,
not at all.
No, wait.
Close.
No, because it's S&M.
S&M Sunday night mayhem.
There we go. I'll get
because we talk movies and we talk any, you know, there's really no subject off limits, but the show is based around film and our love for film.
Yes. And before we're off limits, we just want to wait that 30 seconds, then that 10 minutes, and then we're good to go.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna watch, at least get through those first 10 minutes and then hang out, hang out with us. So okay, everybody, thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. And we will see you on the next movie. Goodbye, everybody. Bye. Bye, everybody. Bye. Bye.